People ask me all the time, how do you juggle this? How do you do it? The answer is I don't. I'm literally surviving. I'm treading water to keep my head above water all the time. 9 times out of 10, I feel like I'm failing. I'm Martina, and welcome to Women Inspired Networking Conversations, the podcast. Now, if you're a woman in business who's ever been nervous about networking, felt intimidated about the salesy approach that most networking events have, then this is for you. This podcast is all about real conversations. No fluff, no pressure, just real conversations with other women in business who understand the journey. Welcome to the podcast. I hope you enjoy. Grab a coffee and let's chat. So today I wanted to do a podcast on the reality of what it takes to run Women Inspired Network. People think that you just turn up, that miraculously 10 to 20 people show up and attend the event and it's easy money. That's why there are so many networking groups popping up all over the place, because people don't see what goes on behind the background. So what people see is the events, the connections, the reviews, people saying how amazing it was, people saying they leave so inspired, and that's amazing. But a lot of hard work goes into that before you even get to that stage. It looks glamorous, it looks easy, but in reality, so much goes into it that people don't see. People don't see that I'm a full-time mum. I'm doing this around Winston and Clemmy. Winston is at school, granted, but people don't see that I'm looking after Clemmy full time around doing this as well. So I have to fit things into her nap time sometimes. I have to take her with me to events. That's just how it is. But I'm juggling a 24-hour job of being a parent around doing this and my other business, my Forever Living business. So I also sell aloe vera products, which I still do around all of this as well. People don't see the admin issues that need sorting out, people that aren't on the directory. I have a wonderful lady who does that for me. But generally, if they've got a problem, they'll come to me first. People who are asking for refunds, people who have double booked themselves, this happens all the time. So juggling people about, rebooking tickets. We also have venue issues. Sometimes the venue can't have us last minute and we need to change. Sometimes the speaker's unavailable. Sometimes they're sick and we need to find a replacement. There's recording the podcast. I mean, I have to do this as well around everything else. Promoting the Facebook group, letting people into the Facebook group, connecting with everybody that comes into the Facebook group, checking Instagram followers, going and messaging those people, liking those followed pages. Instagram is a whole new level. Promoting the events. Oh my gosh. So the main way that I actually get an income through Women Inspired Network is, in total transparency, my events that I run. So it's really important that I actually spend time promoting those, because otherwise, if I'm doing everything else in the background but not actually making any money, what's the point? So there's loads and loads to do. And I have 4 events myself. So I have currently, as it stands, I have Stowmarket, which is where I live. We have Bury St Edmunds, we have Woodbridge, and we also have the Success Circle. So if you think about it, I have 4 events myself to run and promote throughout a month. So that's like averaging 1 a week. That's a lot. I always say to my leaders, start with 1. People come to me and say, oh, I'd really like to run one here, and I'd really like to run one there, and I'd really like to run one there. Yeah, that's great. Let's start with 1. Because I know how much hard work it is. I ran one group in Bury St Edmunds for 2 years before I started Women Inspired Network. And it was hard work. It really is hard work. Building the network in that area, building up the interest, keeping a track of who has shown interest, asking people to buy a ticket. Actually, before you even have the event, all of that stuff takes time. For me, myself, kind of given myself a really hard job by having 4 events. That only gives me a week to advertise and do all of that prep stuff before the event. Whereas all my leaders, thank goodness, only have 1, so they've got the whole month to do that. I've only left myself a week to do that. So it's really, really tricky, and it's fitting lots and lots and lots of activities, lots of promotion into a really short space of time. People ask me all the time, how do you juggle this? How do you do it? The answer is I don't. I'm literally surviving. I'm treading water to keep my head above water all the time. Sometimes I feel like I'm not surviving at all. 9 times out of 10, I feel like I'm failing. I'm always behind. I've always got things to do. I've always got things I haven't done that I've forgotten about. In total transparency, I don't balance it. I'm literally just doing what the priority task is that I have to get done at that exact moment in time. So I need to work on that. I need more of a structure. I need to take a step back a little bit, I think. And the business is growing. We have leaders in a number of different areas. I used to run Sudbury as well, and I've given that to the wonderful Zandrina. So I am taking more of a step back so that there is time to do everything else. Because what's the point in growing a business and scaling a business if you can't spend more time with your family? Because I don't know about you, but that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so that I can spend more time with my kids. So there's no point at all in doing everything myself when we've grown the business to this level where we have about 10 events a month now. That's a lot. That is a lot. But that comes with lots of admin issues. It comes with lots of queries. It comes with lots of website issues. It comes with lots of extra tasks that need doing. So I am hoping to long term just reduce those events maybe over the next couple of years. I know that's my main source of income, but I can't grow the way I want to grow if I'm running 4 events a month. It's just not doable. I mean, 2 maybe would be ideal. So I will look to get rid of some of them in the near future. But at the minute, I'm just juggling it all. I'm just plate spinning, and I'm just desperately trying not to let any of those plates stop spinning. So, example, this week has been a really, really tough week. I have had 2 events this week. I didn't think about this. So I normally have 1 each week, as I said, but next week is half term. Now, from experience, we don't get a lot of uptake in half term. So from a business point of view, I moved it forwards. I had 2 events booked in the space of 3 days. I don't advise this in the future because I was juggling childcare. My husband had gone away for 2 days prior to this, so I had no time to actually do work in the evenings because I have 2 co-sleepers. They co-sleep in different rooms, and there was one of me. So obviously I had no chance to get any work done during that time. And that was prime time for last minute ticket sales. So error on my part. I'll remember that in the future. I was taking Clemmy to the events. The first event at Woodbridge on the Tuesday was actually pretty good because that was always my focus for the previous week. So I was messaging people, I was trying to get people booked in, and it was all good. And we had loads of new members, and loads of people were saying to me, thank you so much for giving me a nudge to come along because I wouldn't have come along otherwise. So that's really, really lovely. But then it got to Bury, which was 2 days later. And I was like, oh no, I literally have hardly anyone booked in. And don't get me wrong, I know that's because of my lack of effort. So I take full responsibility for that. And that's why I say to the leaders, really only have 1 event a month, because then you've got the whole month to prepare. The pressure is less. So I feel like I really only had 1 day. Why I thought this would be okay, I don't know. Note to self, just don't do it again. I feel like it was a disaster. I was exhausted. I felt so tired. I was run down because I was up all night anyway when my husband was away because of the 2 co-sleeping thing in different rooms. And I was burnt out, essentially. And then I had to run another event and put my face on and be like, whoa, hey, welcome to the event. So it was really, really, really hard. And I don't know whether this is just the universe or not. It's probably just the universe. But obviously when you're stressed and when things start happening, and then when you feel like things aren't going well, the universe brings you more things that don't go well. So I found that not only did I feel really awful, then everybody was saying no when I was asking them. All my regulars said no. And I was like, oh my God, where is everybody? So I had the Woodbridge event. I felt awful. I was trying desperately to get people booked into the Bury event that was 2 days later. Everyone was saying no. I had the Bury event, and there was about 9 of us booked in, but one lady couldn't come, so that was 7 of us. And I felt awful for the guest speaker, but actually it did work really well because we did more of a mastermind session, which worked really, really well. I think, do you know what? I think it's about adapting. I love that at Women Inspired Network, we adapt a lot on like a last minute basis. So if we have 9 people show up, I would network in one way. If I had like 10 to 15 people, I would network in a completely other way. And then if we have like 15 to 20 people, I would network in a completely different way. And then if we have more than 20 people, I would network in a completely different way. So I like that when you come to Women Inspired Network, you don't always get the same thing again and again and again. I know some groups where you do the same thing, regardless of how many people are in the room. You always stand up, you do your pitch, you sit down, next person stands up, does their pitch, sits down, etc., etc. But I love that it's always a little bit different, and I've always got something else up my sleeve, which is a little bit exciting. So I love that about us, not being big-headed, but, I do like to make it really different, to keep everyone on their toes and to keep everyone very interested. The whole thing is, you will not get bored at Women Inspired Network. So I was in this situation where I felt like everything was going wrong, and then I get caught speeding. Literally, you cannot write this stuff. Again, my own fault. I was not paying attention. And actually, do you know what? It's one of the only times I didn't put my adaptive speed limiter on. Why did I not do that? That's the universe bringing me more bad stuff. So I need a massive shift. I need things to change pretty quickly so that there's good stuff going on. But it is half term. The weather is beautiful, as you can see, if you're on the YouTube channel. And I have the next week with my kids. And who could ask for anything more? That's what we all want, right? Be that parent who can have fun with their kids, who can afford half term, but can also spend the time at half term. So I am so grateful. But I just wanted to say it's not always easy. There are so many groups popping up. And actually, at my berry event this week, I also had someone come up to me in the community and say, oh, we're starting our own networking group. And I was like, great, just another thing. Networking groups pop up all over the place. And I mean, some last, some don't. But I just have to think, we sell around 140 tickets a month, if not more. Like, it's constantly growing. And now we've increased to 2 more areas. It really is increasing massively. So I'm really excited to see at the end of June what tickets we have sold. But I pride myself on having the right people as leaders in the right areas. It's all about kindness. It's all about connection. And although everyone says it's all about connection and collaboration, is it? Until you go, you don't know. I have so many people say to me, I've been to so many networking groups, but I get connection every time from yours. There are genuine connections at every single event of Women Inspired Network. I don't get that elsewhere. So that makes my heart really full, and it makes me realise we're onto something good. I don't know any other networking group where they have so many events in such a small location. Really, it's Suffolk, dipping into Cambridge, dipping into Norfolk, and we have 10 events a month. I don't know anywhere else that has that frequency of events over a really small location. Each event, generally speaking, we have about 15 people on average. I mean, the DIS one that is starting the middle of June, I mean, a month before the actual event, we had 16 tickets booked already. That's incredible. So that's going to be a really big one. Cambridge tends to be a little bit of a bigger one because Gabby has the whole of Cambridge to play with. We don't have any other events in Cambridge yet. Leah is branching out into Norfolk with DIS, and she has got pretty much the whole of Norfolk to play with. So their events are going to be a little bit busier. The Suffolk ones are slightly more diluted, but we still get about 15 people on average. So it's obviously something that is needed. It's obviously something that people want, which is really, really lovely as well. So even though it's hard, I'm glad it doesn't look hard, but there is so much going on behind the scenes. And my day consists of, when Clemmy sleeps, just get as much done on my phone while she's asleep as possible. Get people accepted into the Facebook group, promote the event on Facebook on lots of different pages, connect with people, edit the podcast, make the blog, write out emails. I get as much done as possible when Clemmy is asleep so that I can be as present as possible. But I think it's really hard and people don't see that. Just like with any business, you work really, really hard behind the scenes. Next. So that's my day in the life. I don't know how I juggle it. I don't know how I'm still awake, but I love it and I will always do it. So join me next week for another conversation. Thank you so much for being here and listening with us today. If you're loving the podcast and want to find out more about our Women Inspired Network events, then find out more on www.womeninspirednetwork.com/events. Or you can connect with us on Facebook under Women Inspired Network, or follow along on Instagram under women_inspired_network. And of course, subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss an episode. I'll see you next week for another honest conversation.